33 years, the Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
I know Stephen A. has been watching those highlights on repeat for the last month. The ESPYs are tomorrow, and Best NBA Player is a loaded category. The finalists are NBA champion Jalen Brunson, NBA MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. So can't go wrong choosing any of these guys to win this award, but who is most deserving, David? Who should win NBA Player of the Year?
Okay, let's break down the category first, right? So we have Victor Wembanyama, Best Defensive Player in the Year, future GOAT trajectory type of guy. SGA, walking bucket, clutch player of the year, 30 points a game. Jokic, triple-double, 50% from the field, guaranteed, carries his team, does all those things. That's great. Only one of those dudes that is nominated performed a modern-day miracle, and that was Jalen Brunson. He brought an NBA championship to the New York Knicks. Hadn't happened in 53 years. This is unprecedented territory that we're talking about, and usually the championship is not the end-all, be-all when it comes to this. It's overall season performances. I don't think you would start a franchise with Jalen Brunson over these guys, but that doesn't matter right now. What we're talking about is what did you do that nobody else accomplished? It is you did something that we will remember forever. That's winning a championship in New York, carrying that team, being as small as you are, scoring over a guy like Victor Wembanyama on the way. You got to give this thing to Jalen Brunson.
Nothing like coming to New York City and picking against Brunson in front of everyone who's going to be upset. It was a remarkable season. The efficiency level, I question it. Defense at times, you question it. If we're going to get into the nitpicking. And then the Spurs just kind of serving the series up on a platter with horrendous coaching and choke job after choke job after choke job, which limits Brunson, in my opinion, as we're trying to sort through the best form, which also limits Wemby because of how he failed to show up on the big stage. SGA just let the Spurs come in and kick him right off the dynasty block. I go to Jokic. I go to the best player on the absolute worst team. 27, 13, 10, 57% from the floor, and yet we don't even bat an eye. There was a time where numbers like that, we were throwing MVPs. We were comparing you to Oscar Robertson. It was stuff we hadn't seen before. He's made the triple-double so casual, we don't even talk about it. I think it's a little bit of disrespect. I think you can make a great case for any of the four, but I think Jokic is the guy who consistently just gets overlooked because he's not loud, he's not flashy. The rest of his team stunk and completely let him down this season. He's my guy. He's the guy.
Disrespect.
Joe, nobody overlooks Nikola Jokic. We all know how great the Joker is. There's a reason that there's three guys who were in the MVP finals, right? And then Jalen Brunson. Because the thing that the ESPYs has that no one else has when we're doing all these best player MVP votings is they get to watch the season end. And they know that Nikola Jokic was at his house. They know that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was at his house. They know that Victor Wembanyama was on the court and he was leading in every game. And somehow Jalen Brunson, this dude that was drafted in the second round, right? This dude that everybody said could be a 1A scorer for a championship team, found ways to win. The thing that the ESPY has, right, the ESPYs understand that when they make this montage of Jalen Brunson, when he wins this award tomorrow night, they're going to be able to show that they was down 29 points in New York. Every star that's ever been born in New York or adopted New York is there, and none of them left because they knew Jalen Brunson was going to bring them back. It was cinematic. We talking about the Odyssey. We talking about Dune 3. They need the Knicks to that because that's what this run was about. And to finish off the run, you go to San Antonio, you're down again, and you give them 45 points. Your other guy, Cat, right, who was supposed to be the number 2, he doesn't even score 5 points in that game. OG Anunoby plays well, but it was on Jalen Brunson's shoulders. Jalen Brunson is the best player of this year's NBA season because of how he finished. This is a dude that was second team All-NBA again for the third year in a row. He averaged 26 during the season. He averaged 5 and 3 in assisted rebounds. All of those things elevated in the most important moments of the season. This team went on an epic run, and the run started with their point guard. You're down 2-1 to Atlanta. You make the change, and you rip off those consecutive games. You lose one in San Antonio, and then you come back and you make plays to end the series. This was phenomenal by Jalen Brunson. No one but him deserves to be the best player of 2026.
I think you both make a great case for why the Knicks should be Team of the Year. Team of the Year. You keep talking about the run. the comebacks, everything else has been great.
Too. They got
Team of the year without question, player of the year. It sucks to sit here and try to knock it, but that was a team effort combined with a catastrophic choke job from San Antonio, handing them games. And oh, by the way, let's not forget the Anunoby tip-in. Like in some of the biggest moments, it wasn't necessarily Brunson. He was fantastic. But again, Jokic just casually throws up 27, 13, and 10 on a team that has completely quit on him. We don't even want to mention it. And I get it. If it's all about the playoff run, then let's talk about the team. The Knicks deserve team of the year. I don't think Brunson's the player of the year.
Wait. This is more disrespectful. This is like putting Lamar Jackson at number 89 on the list. This is more disrespectful. Jokic was at home a month before those other guys were playing because he and his team had the second biggest choke behind San Antonio. They lost to Minnesota without Anthony Edwards, and he had the worst series of his career because Rudy Gobert had that man on clamps. He had that man in jail the whole time. As great as Jokic is, he sort of lost a little bit, and I think the argument of him being the best player in the world took a real hit with what happened this season, whereas Jalen Brunson elevated, because you could talk about the team effort. When it was time to close those games, it was Jalen Brunson in the clutch every single time, taking over in those fourth quarters.
Do you remember a time in the first round of the playoffs when we were talking about, well, maybe they can't play Cat and Jalen Brunson at the same time. Maybe they should just take Jalen Brunson out of the game because he's a defensive liability. And when they have a lead, that's when
C.J. McCollum was the Knicks star. They were talking about C.J. McCollum like he was Reggie Miller for a couple. I was in Atlanta. I was in New York. The way that the Knicks were freaking out at that point when they were down 2-1, like they would laugh at that now.
Seems like a different season.
It was a different time. Next thing you know, they have the State Farm Massacre, and it is just a month of just being unbeatable.
So, all right, he averaged 32.6 points per game during the finals run. He was incredible. Jokic was incredible, too. But
with the hurt wrist.
As you look at these four players, who raised their stock the most this season, David?
Okay, so I want to go Brunson here again, but like Brunson elevated.
This is where it is, Brunson.
Well, Brunson elevated himself to possibly greatest Nick, right? Possibly greatest Nick. Him and Walt Frazier, I think, are 1 and 1A. To me, it's Wemby, though, because Wemby established that he is on a GOAT trajectory. There is a potential for GOAT-like stuff because he is ahead of schedule. People, at the beginning of the season, you got to remember, this was a play-in team. Everybody thought this would be a play-in team with the Spurs. Did not expect him to make the playoffs. Did not expect him to make any noise. He comes up as an MVP candidate, beats the Oklahoma City Thunder, and far exceeds expectations. We forget that because of how they choked away in the finals and gave up those leads. They were not expected to be there. And if you look at where Wemby is, this is right where LeBron James was at the same time in 2007, getting this team to the finals way ahead of schedule. Wemby, despite all that happened, performed better in his finals appearance than LeBron did. Wemby accelerated to a GOAT trajectory, which is more important than being the greatest Knick of all time.
We already kind of saw that coming. All those points are fair, but we already knew he was a freak show. Brunson going from all-star to God, absolute God, that's the jump. That's where he gets my vote.
RC, final word.
DD is absolutely wrong. You know what he just told us? Victor Wembanyama is everything everybody said he was going to be anyway. And in the most important moment, Jalen Brunson was better. This is about Jalen Brunson. You can't make a montage on social media about people saying how sorry Victor Wembanyama was. There is no montage on social media about Victor Wembanyama being called too small or too slow or can't be a one. There is people like Kendrick Perkins saying that Victor Wembanyama should have signed a 10-year, billion-dollar contract. Victor Wembanyama, maybe it's just who he's supposed to be. Jalen Brunson has elevated far beyond that. Jalen Brunson right now is going to be the case study in having a dad who works you hard, and having a dad who may helicopter parent, and having a father who watches over you and pushes you to this point of break to make you great. I believe Jalen Brunson elevated himself to a position that no one could have expected, not only at the beginning of the season, but at the beginning of the NBA playoffs.
Can't go wrong with any of these answers, and tomorrow we will see who becomes the best NBA player.
Even though we just called each other wrong.
Yeah, all three of you were wrong.
Good 10 minutes.
All right, there was no brotherly love for Jalen Hurts as the Super Bowl MVP. Was not ranked a top 10 QB.